And it made me empowered and made me feel like a badass for the first time in my life. I never felt like a badass before. And I think that people don't realize that too. Like, I felt like an outcast for most of my fucking life, and then overlooked and underestimated and all of these things until I finally became the person that I admired. Skill acquisition. Most important, underrated thing you can do in your life. Start acquiring skills. Just do the thing, figure out what you're doing wrong, figure out what you're doing right, and then acquire that skill, and that will never go away. It will serve you in all kinds of scenarios you never thought it would. Yes, I love winning, obviously.
Yeah,
but
who doesn't love winning?
I love performing more. Like, I love performing more. Love seeing where my limits are, what I'm capable of, and how hard I can push. I don't think you can experience true passion until you hyperfixate on something long enough to understand every aspect of it. And then you're like, no, I feel passion in every depth of my soul for this thing. One of the benefits of being human is other humans.
Yeah.
I think enduring. Embrace the suck, right?
Embrace the suck.
ETS, embrace the suck.
The name's Jon Mack, pro fighter, published author, public speaker. And for the last few years, I've been living life in a van. Meet Appa, my Japanese-inspired tea house on wheels. Welcome in. Coffee, tea, whiskey. That's how it begins. My podcast. The one where we sit and talk about life. Thoughts, stories, human things. You know human things. The things that make us human. If that's your cup of tea, then welcome in. Drinks on me. All right, welcome in.
It is good to be here.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah. All right.
All right, some water for you?
I would love some water.
Me too, actually. I feel like I don't drink enough water because I'm not training as often.
Yes.
Like when I'm training on a regular basis, I feel like I'm always drinking water.
Right.
And then when it's no longer my habit to train, I'm just no longer drinking water.
I definitely chug water during practice. I think I didn't actually realize how much water I was drinking at practice until I started measuring it. And then...
Spilling all over the place.
And then I for sure noticed, like on the weeks that we go from fight week to non-fight week, the week after, the intention to drink water isn't there. So I definitely notice a downturn.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome into Appa. I also have coffee.
This is Appa?
This is Appa. This is Appa.
How did you know? Did you do that for me? You named your van for me, right?
Oh, did I?
No. I'm just a big Avatar nerd.
Yeah, me too. I figured as an air nomad, now that I'm a nomad.
Right.
And I have this big white van that's a flying sky bison.
Complete sense.
I mean, there's even a part of me talking about Avatar. There's even a part of me, now that we get to talk dorky stuff.
It only took like 30 seconds.
Yeah, no, it feels like when I came down here, because like one of my intentions of moving down to San Diego was like I want to get my black belt from Barrett, right?
Right.
And so it felt like I was going to like the Southern Water Tribe, and Barrett is my water bending master because of the 4 elements. Jiu-jitsu would be the water element in like this, amalgamation of MMA.
Yeah.
So like the dorky side of me, like actually
Would
feels
you consider
like,
striking fire?
I would consider Muay Thai fire.
Yeah.
I would consider Muay Thai fire. In this scenario, if we were to just choose like the top 4 maybe most common or used arts in MMA, I would say then Muay Thai would be fire. I say boxing would be air, actually. I mean, it's like really air and fire, but if you had to like put it somewhere, because wrestling would have to be earth.
Yeah.
If we're doing like wrestling, jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu's like
jiu-jitsu would have to be water, right? Jiu-jitsu would have to be water. I feel like maybe air for boxing.
I never thought about
because of
this.
head movement.
This is fantastic.
Oh, you've never thought about this?
No. I've never actually, I've thought about what I identify as personally, but for some reason, I didn't make the connection to like identify the martial arts that I do with the different elements. Like within the realm of martial arts.
Oh man, I love this topic. I love this. I love where this is at right now. But before we get ahead of ourselves, also I have coffee, tea, whiskey.
Coffee. I need stimulants. I have had 0 today.
Okay, so we are gonna get
the fact that I've waited this long, probably a travesty. That's such a cute little coffee guy.
Oh, thank you. Mm-hmm. It makes me feel like a wizard putting a concoction together. Like I'm just like putting some random
things in my beaker.
Exactly.
If I see a puff of smoke, I'll be really impressed.
Oh man, maybe season 2. I need some theatrics.
When you go to the Northern Water Tribe.
Exactly.
Because Southern Water Tribe is the first chapter.
It is the first chapter.
It's the first couple episodes, and then you go Northern Water Tribe. So if you think about it, if you came to the Southern Water Tribe, your story is actually just beginning. The next chapter, like you haven't even gotten out of the water book yet. That's the first book, dude.
Oh man, and when you put it like that, when you put it like that, like I do feel like I'm about to embark on a new chapter.
It is.
Like this is part of that new chapter.
It totally is.
Like which chapter are we talking about now? Like this chapter in San Diego is like coming to a close. Not that I can't come right back to this chapter, but there's a big enough chunk of time of me being in the Bay Area where it's actually now a different chapter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
And you don't know how long that's actually going to be. It's indeterminate because an injury is never the same for 2 people. So how are you going to predict, oh, I'm only going to be, in Northern California for this long? And then obviously butterfly effect, you have various pathways that take you down other courses, but ultimately whatever you think it's going to be is not a true predicator of what it's actually going to be.
Exactly.
Like it's hard.
All you can do is basically show up.
And see what happens. Fly by the seat of my pants. I'm sure my wife would appreciate it if I did that a little less. She's like, can you just plan for tomorrow? I don't know, once or twice a week? That'd be great. Yeah, I can work on that.
Side tangent. What I learned from doing this with Carl, because like everybody's ordered different things.
Okay.
Right? Like the idea was, full transparency, like, oh, let's like utilize the space. Yes, there's a place to have conversation, but I felt like there was also a place to host.
Right.
So I was like, cool.
Got some blocking involved.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is theatrics.
You know what I mean? Like, let's make somebody a drink. And it's so funny because it was just like this idea of there's going to be this first segment where I serve somebody a drink, and then the second segment where we sit down and talk. And then on the very first podcast, my friend who was on it, he was like, I'll take a whiskey neat. And I was like, all right, I guess we're done with this part. Here's your whiskey. Like, let's sit down.
So much for making the drink.
Yeah. And
let's get straight to the good stuff.
And then the following day, I had Carl here at Steel. And
flat white latte.
No. He orders coffee, so I make his coffee, but because it's now making coffee for 2, it takes so much longer to heat the water or pour over. Like there's more drip action involved. And so that first segment was like 20 minutes long, and I was like, all right, we're gonna do something different. And now while I'm making this, I'm gonna sit down and we'll continue talking.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Adapting.
Yeah, adapting. Being an animal. I don't know. Adapting is being an animal. Like, let me figure out how to more efficiently do life.
Oh, talk to me more about that. Adapting is being an animal. Go ahead, unpack that some more.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows Darwinism, right? The theory of evolution in general is allegedly how humans, some people believe in creationism, whatever. We're there now. The point is, there are types of evolution even within your creationalism mindset. So like a lot of people who are creationalists will still admit that like this bug went through a couple different generations of its life, and then in a later generation found that certain traits that are more usable stay. Right?
Okay.
Like we had a tail. We don't have a tail. We got a tailbone, and that's a vestigial organ, or not an organ, but a vestigial part. So it doesn't need to be there. It doesn't need to be part of it. But it shortened over time because it was like, well, this is useless. So you select for traits that you need in a partner, and those, like as an animal, and those traits are going to help you adapt to your next generation. Like, I don't know. It's science, I guess.
You love science.
I do love science.
I
do love
pause real quick.
science.
I'm just gonna hit this. I don't want to.
Hit it.
Yep. Oh, the infamous dance.
That's
The
my
infamous
grinding
dance.
coffee dance. You gotta have one for everything, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know how people live without randomly dancing.
Doesn't dancing just feel good?
Yeah.
Feels great, right?
Even if you look like shit.
Right. Okay, think about it, right? We stop ourselves and talk about even if you look like shit, it still feels good, right? Now think about like when we're kids. All the kids, they're offbeat, they're dancing, they're doing all, they don't
They're
care.
having the best time.
They're feeling good, but then we become adults and we like worry about what people think about us, and then so we don't do that even if we're awkward, but we strip ourselves of joy.
So would you say that bad dancing is not a favorably adaptable trait in your later years? Because as soon as you reach sexual maturity, you're like, I can't dance like an idiot anymore. Why is that? Why is it right when puberty hits? Because you actually start caring about what the other sex thinks. You're selecting for a mate.
Yeah.
It all comes back to science, bro.
It all comes back to science. Hey.
I just never grew out of it. I also think that environmental stuff, I had 3 brothers, and all 3 of them embarrassed me constantly.
Are you the youngest?
No, I'm a middle child.
How many are you?
4.
4.
So 2 older, 1 younger.
Okay.
And the older ones have significant gaps, and my younger one has a smaller gap for age difference. Well, they would just roast you all the time. If you ever embarrassed yourself once in your life, they'll retell that story to all of your friends every single time, or all of their new friends, because it's hilarious to them. And so there's this one about me trying to jump an electric fence, and that doesn't go well. Like, I just thought I was tough, and it was one of the horse fences, so it's a pulsating electricity instead of a constant one. So, and it's in a fabric, not the actual fence part. So as long as I avoid the fabric as I'm jumping the fence, I can get over there. Well, I made the mistake of getting my pants up nice and close to it, and I got electrocuted and thrown back into the horse stall. And none of my other brothers had come into there because, you know, I was just being me, just wanted to go throughout where it was a big, like, enclosure. It was a big enclosure, but it was gated, and so I just walked parallel with them on the other side of the gate, and then we got to a part that didn't have like an actual gate. It was just the fence. So it was like fence, and then we got to a part, it was fence, and I'm like, there's no gate, I gotta jump over. And I go to jump over, and I put I'm straddling like this 8-foot fence. I'm already up there, like I got most of the way, and I'm straddling it like this, and I go, and I fly back, and my knee hits my eye, and I hit the dirt, and I just lay there for a second. I was like,
fuck.
And you hear my brothers bust up laughing immediately. Like, no, are you okay? No, nothing. Just like,
As brothers would.
immediately. And my
brothers
mom is trying to choke out, like, are you okay? Because it was probably hilarious to watch. I'm kind of jealous that I wasn't the one that got to watch me do it. But they'll retell that story over and over again, like in front of people, and you just become really comfortable with yourself at some point, or you get really mad every time something happens. And the latter is, when you get mad, that's not conducive to literally anything. Decision making.
Okay,
like,
so in that, when you talk about the decision you can make, you can continue to be mad for the rest of your life, or you kind of adapt to it. Like, at what point, how old were you when you were able to finally be like, okay, like, I can't let this control me anymore? Like, what was the switch for you in that?
My brother had a conversation with me, actually. My older brother. So Clay, who is 6 years older than me, was sitting in his room playing his computer, which me and Brett didn't have a computer because, I mean, this was like early 2000s.
Yeah.
I think I was 7 or 8, maybe 9. And between that, 7 and 9. And I go into his room, and he just keeps saying things that make me angry. Like, whether it's insulting me or it's just like about me in general in various ways, I respond to it. And then he looks at me and he goes, do you like it when people control you? And I was like, no, nobody can control me. I'm independent, 8-year-old. Absolutely not. And he's like, that's crazy. I just controlled everything you just did. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you didn't do it. No, you didn't. Like, he's like, I wanted you to get angry. So I started saying things that I knew would make you angry. And so I controlled you. And I was like...
You were 8?
I was like 8 or 9. And I was like...
Listen.
And I just crossed my arms and walked to my room and thought about things.
You're like, whoa, hold on.
Literally my entire world just changed. Because, like, first I felt rage, and then I'm like, well, I can't be angry. Like, immediately I'm, like, feeling rage about it, and I'm like, well, I can't be angry in front of him because...
That's what he wanted.
He literally just told me that's what he was trying to do. And then... So, I don't know what to do. Do I even respond? Like, do I even interact? And then I walked away. I was like, no, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. And I just went and thought about things and then started pausing. When I would emotionally react, I started pausing for a couple seconds to like analyze how I wanted to portray the situation, whatever it was. Like, and who was making me angry. Were they important? And so, like, my mom and dad still made me angry all the time. But it really helps now with, like, random strangers in a club or something. I'm like, you're not actually going to have an effect on my emotions.
Yeah, sorry. Like, you think you're going to ruffle my feathers and get me going?
That important.
Like, you're not going to get me going. You're not going to get me going.
You're just not. Like, it's going to be so difficult, bro.
Yeah, and plus if you do, I'm going to kick you in the face.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to feel really bad. You know what I would do in a street fight? Like, okay.
Wait, pause real quick.
Okay.
And then tell me what you do in a street fight. Do you want any cinnamon?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. What would you do in a street fight?
I would never hit somebody in the face, ever, in a street fight. That's a terrible idea. How do you go to jail? That's a felony. The minute you break somebody's nose, felony. Like, no. First of all, if I actually wanted to hurt somebody, I'd liver shot the shit out of them.
Oh, just give them the boss rooting. The boss rooting.
Boom. And then try to land a kick successively. If they try to stand up after the punch, just one kick. I don't know what that was. I think it was a motorcycle.
Oh.
Yeah, because you can hear him idling.
Yeah. Is that someone knocking?
But if I just wanted to embarrass them, bro, because, like, hurting somebody, that's something different. Like, I want to hurt you, I want to sit you down. But embarrassing somebody who's mouthing off too much, my favorite is just, like, the little foot sweep. Just, like, standing right here next to me, just, like, I put my foot, like, right inside your foot, and I just pull your heel towards me.
One of these ones?
And just make you stumble just a little.
Yeah.
Like, now, you don't even have to fall. Just, like, doo.
Yeah.
And it's, they look at you, and you're like, yeah, I know more about the human body than you do. You probably shouldn't start anything, bro. But just embarrass them. Like.
Yeah. How did we get to that?
Because
what you were doing?
I was talking about an electric fence, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got electrocuted. Embarrassment. Brothers,
yep.
who
Oh,
push
and then
your limits.
and then, but having that be actually turning out to be a gift, because then at 8-year-olds and 9 years old, now you have this mentality of like, oh, now I'm gonna have awareness of when people do something, how I want to react
emotionally.
Like, what am I?
That's how I control my situation, is by how I react.
Yeah.
And it has become a theme throughout my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. I guess it would be like a core memory or whatever.
Yep.
Whatever they do in Inside Out. I actually just watched both of those recently.
I've only watched the first one.
Me too. And so Inside Out 2 is kind of cool because it's her going through puberty.
Okay.
And so what happens is, like, she's got these 5 emotions or whatever. They hit the puberty button and they rip out the control panel entirely. That's the opening, bro. Oh. And they open it out and they're like, nope, we're going to be entirely different. And they put in a twice as complex panel. And then new emotions show up and, like, yeah, it's a really good one, actually. It's really cool. Well, anxiety. She gets anxiety.
Is it on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Well, I'm about to be in a sling at my parents' house, and I'm pretty sure there's Disney Plus there. So
yeah, let it move you.
Yeah.
Let it move you. I think that's a cool way to think about emotions too, is that you have like a couple guys that are all like fighting with each other or like wanting to tint each situation in their shade of emotion.
Sure.
And you get to decide which one you want, which shade you want to keep. like on the lights. You know how when you, for theater,
Yeah.
right? You put gels.
Yeah, the red, you have the blue.
Yeah, and so you just take out the gels, and so you've got the stack of gels, and now you just filter through the emotions. Not mad, not sad, not this. Oh, yellow. Okay, I'm happy. Like that's all it is. And then sometimes you got both of them. You're like, yeah, it's a little bittersweet. I'm a little happy, a little sad, whatever.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Oh, that's the other. That I'll leave that one for. That's a surprise for Inside Out too.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, don't tell me. No
that's
spoilers.
a surprise, but. I mean, it's a cool concept. It happens in the first like 10, 15 minutes. So it's not like a crazy spoiler. Not ruining the end for you. But in the end, all that matters is personal growth. And I think that's the whole point of the movie.
I'm sure that is. How are we talking about like the basically like the voices in your head, right? Because like you're talking about these different emotions where you speak from a different place because you have a different lens. And so it's that like, or even to get to the point, instead of like choosing like what emotion am I feeling, but like to not even personify the emotions, to allow the emotions to be like more like the weather, like this is passing and this I'm feeling this way because of the human reaction to, because even if you decide not to say when you realize that like don't give them anger because my brother just want anger out of me.
That's what they want. Yeah.
Now it doesn't take away from the fact that your body still might have felt that for a split second and then you decided not to give it to them.
Yeah.
Right. And so
not to feed it.
Not to feed it. So another way is to like not to feed it is like to just not hold on to it. Right? It's there. It's going to be there because like, oh, you got me, and that was a little upsetting. But I'm not going to give it to you. But to allow ourselves to like experience those things, like just let the emotion pass through you. It's going to pass through you. Whatever it is you're feeling, it's going to pass.
Yeah.
You're never in one emotion forever. Like it's always all the things that are just.
Yeah. And what's cool, it's kind of like a teeter-totter. So like the dopamine system is a teeter-totter, and a lot of people don't know that. They think that for dopamine that you're on this baseline and you're just like going down this little baseline and you're getting little spikes and little bumps here and there, right? So it's like this constant graph line and you're just like boop, 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 boop. But what they don't understand is it's actually one of these where if you shoot up, you're going to have to go down the exact same amount below your dopamine baseline before you can come back up to it. And so it's like cars. So I don't know if you know, but when you go this way, you actually have to turn this wheel to recorrect. When you get like merging into a lane, boom, you think you're done here, but you actually have to recorrect. And a lot of people don't think about that consciously. It's the same thing with dopamine. The minute that you shoot up twice the amount that you were at, you're going to come down below your baseline, and then it's going to come back, especially with cheap dopamine. Anything that has to do with substances, right? Anything you didn't have to work for. That shit, but even fighting, post-fight depression is a real thing, right? Everybody's experienced it. Probably Dom more than anybody.
Right.
Like and it's because you come up, you're on this high, and then you have to come down to below where you were just being a human being. Like you have to come down, and it's a low, because that was a high. And you teeter-totter consistently. Same thing, you experience displeasure, like an ice bath. For a few hours afterwards, you're going to feel really good because your dopamine shoots up. It's the same concept. So every time that you're like, oh man, I just need dopamine, you can do something that sucks.
Which is the better
that
option.
You hate, and you will get a good amount of dopamine from it because it sucks so much.
I need to do ice bath more.
Everybody does.
God damn it. Like, as you said that, I'm like in my mind, I'm like, bro, you need to do that.
Everybody does. Yeah.
Do you regularly? Ice bath?
I try to do some cold exposure every week, but you don't need very much. I do heat exposure mostly. I do sauna.
I feel like that's easier.
It's easier. Yeah, it's way easier. I just make myself stay in it until I don't want to be in it, and then I stay in it for 20 more minutes. Like, I do like a legit cut, I want to say, a couple times a week, where I go in and I'll do like a 20-minute session where I'm shadow boxing, or I do the bath at home. So I do heat almost every single day. That's the hard part, is that it's every day. But heat cleanses you in a way that is fantastic, especially if you're consuming substances when you shouldn't be. And it being Thanksgiving week, I've been drinking more alcohol than usual. So yeah. So at the end of the day, you got to get that hot bath to where you're sweating, and then you're staying in it. And then sometimes I run more hot water, like, and just legit try to detoxify a little bit.
First question: black or white mug?
White.
White. Okay. I have honey and I have some cream.
Let's do some cream and probably a little bit of honey too.
A little bit of honey. Full transparency. We have gas station creamer because I don't have creamer in the van. But Ashley needs some cream with her coffee. So,
yeah, it's crazy.
Teacher note to self: have some cream in the van for the guests.
No, I mean only if they're picky guests, right?
How many do you want?
All of them.
Are you kidding?
No, I want 4. 2 and 2.
2 and 2.
And then we'll see where we're at. But I usually do like a brown sugar stevia, and then I'll do non-sugar creamer. So my ratio is going to be a little off because I don't know if you have, because we're going to do honey. So I don't know what it's going to be.
All right.
We're going to have to play with it. Probably do some taste tests.
Okay. Start with 2 of each.
Start with 2 of each. That's a good place to start. You usually just drink your coffee black?
Yeah.
Do you do honey at all?
I actually just got the honey recently because I have tea, and I'm like, well, what do people want?
Honey with their tea. The coffee thing just didn't even occur to you.
Yeah, so I'm saying I just drink my coffee black all the time. I mean, every now and then, I'll put cream, especially like this cream hazelnut. It always reminds me of my dad, because my dad always has hazelnut cream at the house.
Oh, yeah? That's who you're staying with when you go to San Jose, yeah?
Yeah. Union City. It's like maybe 30 minutes north of San Jose. I'm like right in between San Jose and San Francisco.
Nice.
But yeah, that's who I will be with. You met my parents?
I did. They're fantastic. Your dad's hilarious.
Yeah, he's great. They're going to be fun ones to have on this podcast when that time comes.
I bet they are.
Holy shit, Ashley. You want some coffee with this milk over here?
Fuck off. To each their own, John.
Hey, true that. How much honey do you want?
I don't know, not a ton. Yeah, when? We'll see. Okay. We'll see what that tastes like.
I bet you this tastes fantastic. All this honey and cream.
You like it's so crazy. I love milk.
Tastes like the fucking holidays.
I'm a milk drinker, okay? If little bit of coffee with my milk, that's fantastic.
All right, here you are. Why don't you have a sip of that? Tell me what you think. You want to add more cream, any more honey?
I think we're good. Hold on.
I can also just keep these on the table if you want. How you feeling?
I think we're good. I might add one more of those, but put them on the table for now.
Okay. Here you go. Wash my hands real quick.
Thank you. This is delicious.
You're welcome.
See, I think about like the street fight thing again. Like if they fell when you like did that little foot sweep and you just pretend, or you come up and you like slap their tummy. Like,
oh, you give him one of those?
Like I could actually hurt you. I'm choosing not to, and you should be gracious about it. But that's very obviously like, I want a reaction, right? Tell me that's not like, hey, I want a reaction.
For sure.
And like a lot of people, when they really...
You probably have some of that in you because of your brothers as well.
Yeah. I like to push people's limits.
All right, I'm going to come join you over at this table now. I wonder how long that took me. Oh, let's look at the timer.
Time
right
it.
here. Well, I forgot to... I'm supposed to be putting a timer on my watch, but I keep forgetting every time. So we're just going to go ahead and do a quick check-in. Oh, that was about half an hour. Wow.
We told stories too.
We did tell stories, and it is part of the podcast. I don't know how those visuals are going to work out, but so the first 4 podcasts, I would do like camera setup in different areas. Again, just experimenting, right? Like figuring it out as I go. Like, do I want to do it like this? Do I want to do it like that? So like last night's episode, Dom's and yours is like this new. I'm just going to keep them all up here, but I'm also all the way down there. So I hope visually.
This one should be able to get you, right?
Yeah, one of them will get me.
Yeah. I think the audio is more important. We care about what you have to say, okay?
Oh. I like that.
This is
I like that.
fantastic. I needed this coffee like...
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I haven't had any coffee today.
Really? It's already fucking...
I know.
2 o'clock.
I know. Sometimes I do that. I was kind of rushing because I got out of... I usually wake up an hour and a half beforehand. I freaking woke up and I was like, no, dude. I need like 20 more minutes. And I have read this sleep study that justifies like the 20 or 30 minutes at the end of your sleep can be most conducive to like your conscious state. And I was like, F it, 30 more minutes. And then, just rushed to get ready. And I didn't do coffee because of it.
Oh, okay. So now you have coffee and the nap. What was, now that you are here, do you wish you would have had coffee, or are you glad that you chose the...
No, I love waiting because it hits you harder. Like,
I need to work on that, actually. I probably wait maybe an hour, sometimes 45 minutes before I have coffee. I'll have water and stuff like that, but I feel like, I don't know. I heard someone recently say like to wait a couple hours.
60 to 90 minutes.
60 to 90 minutes.
That's what Huberman recommends. Huberman's pretty dope. He's my science guy.
I was going to say, I'm sure you love that.
Yeah.
You're a science girl.
Yeah, he's a neuroscientist at Stanford.
Right?
Yeah. And I listened to a lot of his stuff. I tried to wade through it because that dude is smart. Like, every time I get a little too arrogant and think that I'm smart, I just listen to one of his podcasts. And I'm like, yeah, I could work harder. Like, I could be working harder. Because intelligence is a learned skill in a lot of senses, in my opinion. Alex Hormozy defines intelligence as the space between learning things. So, like, I'm gonna teach you this. How many times do you have to repeat it until you can successfully do it? Like, is it once and you can remember it? Boom. That means that your skill acquisition is much higher, and a lot of people associate that with intelligence. Your ability to easy learner.
Right.
So intelligence, according to Alex Hormozy, and I'm paraphrasing, but is essentially the space and time it takes to learn something. Like, you can accurately kind of, what's the word? Apparently, I don't have the intelligence today.
Okay.
Measure. You can kind of like measure your intelligence. You're like, it took me
this long to master the skill, or
Sure.
come to understanding of this idea or whatever it is.
Right.
And you say that can be trained, or
I think paying attention can be trained.
which we suck at overall as humanity right now.
Yes.
We suck at paying attention right now. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Short-term memory, not short-term memory, but just short-term attention. Like, everything is just like these quick. Come back to dopamine. Everything is just like this quick.
Literally dopamine.
It's quick hits of dopamine. Like, so then we can't focus anymore.
And the only reason that you would advocate for the other side is because you've experienced that slow build when we were younger, and there weren't really cell phones, right? Like, I still was born in the 90s. So, like, there was a time period people were getting cell phones in, like junior high school. Like, that's when when cell phones really became a thing. But we had this childhood where we're, like, seeing these long bouts of inactivity for our dopamine, right? And your dopamine drops and drops, but then it shoots higher because you had the long bout. That delayed gratification, there's like scientific basis for it. There's a reason it feels so good. We're advocating for the other side because we have felt it time and time again, especially as fighters. Like, delay gratification, super high, super low. like that is literally our pattern.
That is definitely a pattern. I feel like
work. Play and depressed.
I actually forgot about that. Like, this. You know what? This is the second time I've done this, and I'm actually still trying to figure out how I want to do this. Like, I actually haven't even introduced you. We're 30 minutes into the podcast.
I'm Ashley.
This is Ashley. Everybody, Ashley.
It's nice to meet you guys.
Ashley, everybody.
Thanks for being here today.
Ashley is one of my teammates here at Steel. That's where we're parked up at, and we just fought together recently at Bellator.
Wild,
yeah.
Love this guy. He's my battle buddy now.
Yeah, we're battle buddies.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Yeah, and being transparent with you guys, you know, and trying to figure out this podcast, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, how I wanted the feel to be like. Part of the aesthetic was like I wanted to feel like I'm just welcoming you over to my house, which literally I am because I've been living
this is your house. This is your home.
It's my home, for the time being, right? Mom and Dad's home is about to be home in a little bit, which is also still home. But this vibe of like people just coming to have conversation over coffee or over tea, over a glass of whiskey, and so I didn't want to necessarily like make it like this formal thing. I have, you know, expert of so and so.
Let me put my belts on the table.
Yeah,
I've done that once.
Even speaking of, right?
Also validity, but like no, this.
How many belts do you have? Just real quick. She just had her. Okay.
I think I have 9 because Susan has more than me.
Susan, also, I would love if you're watching this.
She's gonna get you on this. Oh, you're gonna get on this.
Or you're gonna get you on this.
We're gonna get you on this.
Every podcast, like somebody comes up and I'm like, oh, yeah, we're getting.
This is the next one.
Yeah, we're gonna get you on there. But no, very accomplished. You had what, 40 Muay Thai fights before you even had that Bellator?
Yeah, 37.
37.
Yeah, pretty close.
37, 9 belts.
No, yeah,
certified gangster, basically.
Amateur belts, and that's if you don't include my gold medals.
Let them know.
I have 3.
Let them know.
I have 3. The most recent one was the most impressive. The other ones were just like world tournaments, you know, no big deal. You just go.
Yeah, no big deal. I'm just wearing
I'm just wearing
a world t-shirt right now.
Yeah,
by accident.
I did go to Abu Dhabi. Unfortunately, I lost in this one, but I did go there. I won one and then I lost one, but there were so many girls in the bracket I didn't even medal. It was crazy. All my other ones, I would have had to fight 4 fights to win gold in Abu Dhabi. And I ended up getting sick. Freaking second day, came in there. For my first day, had a great fight. You know, after a fight, sometimes you like get really sick. After my first fight, I got really sick, just like congestion, could not breathe. And came into the second fight and didn't adjust from the rounds prior because I didn't know if I was winning or not. So they have live scoring for IFMA. But there was one of the rounds after I came out of the corner, I was unclear whether or not I won it. So I kept doing the same thing, which was a mistake. And then going into the third round, I changed it entirely and I won the third round. And I could have won the fight if I would have adjusted sooner.
Right. But you're like, no, I'm cool.
But I'm like, yeah, I can clinch. And they're like, no, she's scoring because she was just picking up her knees. Pop, 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 pop. Like they weren't doing damage, but it's IFMA. So it's points.
Rule set.
It's IFMA, yeah. So they're we call them IFMA knees. But you just like, pop, 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 pop. Like, fuck damage.
What is that? International Federation of what is it?
Muay Thai? Yeah. Yeah.
IFMA?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Oh, I'm just wearing my IFMA world shirt right
IFMA.
now.
Does it say it? Yeah, it says it. I knew it was on it. International Federation of Muay Thai Associations. You have to have federation and an association.
It's super official. If you didn't know if it was like kind of official.
We got 2 letters for what kind of group we are. 2, count them, 2. Oh man, it's a federation and an association.
Yes, double official.
Oh man, you know
everybody.
What it probably was? It was probably something in Thai, and they tried to translate it to like English.
Yeah.
I was gonna say American, but that's not right. But they tried to translate it to English, and that's what it came out as. That's what I feel like.
Probably.
That's what I feel like because it's in there in Thai.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
That's some other shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it sounds silly in English.
Yeah.
It would make sense.
Anyways.
Yeah, IFMA was a trip. I have 3 IFMA gold medals. The most recent one was the most impressive because it was World Games. So World Games only happens every 4 years. All these other tournaments that I've won would happen like yearly, right? Korea would host one. Like various countries would be like, hey, we're going to host a world tournament. And then each country sends a representative in each weight class. And it costs a lot of money and you have to pay for it yourself. And it's awesome experience, but it is very difficult to pull off. And then you have to travel across the world, cut weight multiple days in a row because you have to weigh in every day you fight. So you cut weight, you fight, then you go to bed, you cut weight again, you wake up, you fight. Sometimes there's a few days in between fights. You got to have a system.
Yeah. Rough. It's like wrestling. I mean, the wrestling was only 2 days, but it'd be like that. Like you weigh in both days. You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, you're fighting what for a week straight? Like how many days in a row is it?
3 fights usually. It's pretty average. So it'd be 3 separate days, sometimes 4. sometimes 4. For the world tournament, which is every year for IFMA, it's like 10 days. And you'll have spaces between your fights, and you'll end up fighting potentially more times, but it's over 10 days. So you'll fight and then 2 or 3 days, and then fight and then 2 or 3, a lot of the time, depending on how many people are in your weight class. Some guys fight twice in one day. That's gnarly. That when people have to do, they try not to, but like have athletes do that. But when you have these massive brackets, because
you gotta get.
you gotta get into them. Yeah, but World Games only accepted 8 girls in the world for each weight class, and it, like, your country could apply, but essentially you couldn't have more than 8. So it didn't matter if other countries wanted to sign up. Once the 8's full, they can't. So that was pretty prestigious because they take the best from those countries. I beat 2 professionals, like 40, 50 professional Muay Thai fights, multiple belts from Italy.
Feeling like a gangster.
Feeling like a gangster, dude. On top of the world. Post-fight depression. That was a learning experience from World Games. So I had this, my second fight was against Yolanda Schmidt, who's like, even the guy who did the podcast on me before the fights was like, are you worried about Yolanda Schmidt? And I was like, I've never heard of her until you just mentioned her, but thank you for putting that in my head. Thank you for, so now I've got to look her up.
Yeah.
And then I have to fight her. She had a first round bye because a girl dropped, and I did not. So she didn't fight the day before, and I did.
That's fresh.
I watched this fight of hers the night before, because you don't watch film until the day before. Like, you don't know who you're going to fight.
You don't know who you're fighting. Yeah.
I watched film, and it was this scary-ass video of her mauling this girl. And I'm like, I don't think I'm ready. She had a bye yesterday. She could absolutely do this to me. Like, then I get out there, and I wrecked her. And I was like, on top of the world. And then after the fight, I started bawling, like ugly crying in the back, like just immediately had this huge come down. And then, because I was like, that was my gold medal. Like, to me, that was my that was my gold medal moment.
Yeah, you beat this, this monster of a person who...
In my head was huge.
Right.
In my head was huge. And so I had this come down, and then it's harder to cut weight because the cortisol spiked because you came down so far. And then...
It's so sciencey. I love it. Keep going.
This is legit things. Yeah. And then the next day, you cut weight, you go in there, and I'm going against this Italian world champion who has had 40 or 50 pro fights. And I was feeling good, but it was the most tired I had ever been in a fight. And I actually ended up losing. I didn't win the gold medal on the spot. I won the gold medal because she took diuretics, and then it came back later, and I'm like, makes sense. Because she had more energy than me. I was trying to match her pace, first and second rounds, like I did. Third round, I just zombie threw.
Got nothing.
I threw things, but it was all right kick, right hand. Like my boxing looked like it sucked, and that's what I was tagging her with in the first round. Yeah. And I just kept throwing big T, big kick, telegraph, easy to block, right? And I'm like, I can't string together a freaking combo. Like, I'm so tired. I was trying to win the first and second round. I won the first round.
Yeah.
And then lost the second. And, a lot of people told me they thought I won the second. I was just trying to get the first 2. I'm like, if I get these first 2, I'm done. Like, I'm good.
Right.
But then it was 1-1 going into the third. I gave it everything, but God, I had nothing. And I get to the back, and I have to they didn't think I was going to make it to the podium because I was pushed so hard. And then you have to wear a chest protector on your boobies. Like, it's the only place that you have to wear a chest protector. And it's like pinching into me. And when I got it off, I started feeling better. But I'm like, the most tired I've ever been in my life was World Games.
Full send.
Full send. Oh my God. So then when I got my gold medal, I actually didn't feel like an imposter, contrary to what everybody would probably feel, because it was a split decision. Like, it could have gone my way.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It could have gone. And had she been more tired, it might have. But she got to pee out her weight, and I had to go sit in a sauna. It's super stringent rules.
Right.
Like, in IFMA, it's very stringent. So they stripped her, and now I have a gold medal for World Games, which is pretty cool.
Well, hello there, world champion.
World champion.
World champion.
Once or twice. Oh, that coffee's solid.
So, question for you. You brought this
I brought notes.
Inspector Gadget notebook over here, Sherlock Holmes.
There's only like 5 pages. Like, and it's not all of notes of you, but like in general, I haven't used this notebook for very long, so. But yes.
You came in so prepared. I am not prepared for any of these. I mean, I'm as prepared as I can be, but like...
These are just like, hey, the thing is, we never have lulls in our conversations, so we don't actually need this shit.
Yeah, but I was just curious.
But these will be... This, throughout the last 2 weeks, I've been like, I'm going to go on the podcast. And then when something occurred to me that it'd be fun to talk to you about, I'm like, I'm going to write that down. That's all.
That's great.
Like, you want to go through
them? Let's hear what your list is.
Okay. Chapters.
Okay.
Easy stuff. Adaptations to each situation. I literally wrote that down, bro. And organically, we brought it up.
Yeah, that was what I'm saying. Okay, we already did that.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Boom. Talent's relation to success in comparison to grit.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then
topic.
linking that to intelligence or rate of learning, which we already talked about. That second part, rate of learning is intelligence, right? But yeah, talents.
There's a nice ping for that thing of learning, because you were talking about teaching earlier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. At the new gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough, man. They're kids. Like, I've taught adults for so long now. Like, they know how to put their body there, but they want to put their body there. The kids want to do cartwheels. The kids don't want to do Muay Thai.
What age are you teaching?
Dude, there's such a big range, right? Because it's a brand new gym. But I think I have 6 years, like 5. I had one really little last time, but it's about 5 or 6 to like 11. So there's like a 5 to 6 year range, and keeping them all on task is tough.
That's hard to manage, because you have so many different age levels. Because like, I've taught kids both like in the formal education sense, as well as like martial arts or wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, developmentally, that's very difficult to find a medium of that 5-year-old and that 11-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's different if you have a 5-year-old and 11-year-old and they're already skilled.
Sure.
Because then you can kind of give them something.
Yes.
But when you have, their development is different.
They have to be a special 5-year-old. Like, they already have a fixation. They want to do this thing. And then you have the 10-year-olds who are like, yeah, I like fighting. I can kind of put my body where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And then get the rough movements of it. But getting rough mechanics down for the young ones is even tough.
Yeah.
They have to develop athleticism first. And then, yeah. Yeah, so one of the things I started doing was one of the girls that's 6, she just wants to do gymnastics the whole time. So I made her a deal. I'm like, you give me 3 shoulder rolls, and then when you do a handstand, I'll hold your feet. And like, I'm sitting there like holding her feet, and I can coach other kids while I'm like holding her feet, right? Like, hey, okay, you're doing good over here, boop. And then she, it's like an MMA class, so I can kind of incorporate whatever I want in terms of skill set.
And you can pull from this area.
It's nice.
Little grappling, little striking.
Yeah, a little grappling, a little striking. I'm having her jump in, because she always wants to like grab onto me and jump on me. So I was like, all right, you're going to jump guard. So she's jumping, and she's jumping into guard. And then I have her do like a back walkover out of guard. Because she wants to do gymnastics.
Right.
We're compromising. She's doing a little jujitsu, wrapping her legs around.
And have her do some cartwheel passes, guard passes.
Yeah, see? Write that one down.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have to kind of incorporate different things. I got the medicine ball, and I'm doing sprawls with them on the medicine. The kids love that one, right? Sprawls on the ball, and then fight stance, and then sprawl on the ball and fight stance, right?
Oh,
so
they're jamming.
Yeah. So like, I got some things, and it's a lot of fun figuring out how each kid learns and trying to adapt, and then trying to do it in a group.
The sirens. Pardon all the sirens.
Wee woo, wee woo.
We had some jets earlier. I don't know if you heard the jets. We got some sirens.
They were pretty cool.
That's what happens when you podcast in a van.
Thunderbirds, I think. I don't know. They were black. But Thunderbirds. Have you ever gone to an air show?
Yeah, I've been to a few.
A couple?
Yeah.
They're rad.
Yeah.
Blue Angels.
Blue Angels are... Those fools are gangster.
Blue Angels are dope.
Yeah, they're super dope.
Yeah. And then Thunderbirds, I just like that they play Top Gun the whole time. Like,
I don't think I've seen that.
theme track. Yeah, so Thunderbirds is the same style as Top Gun.
Okay.
Like, that's who was flying in Top Gun was Thunderbirds.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So they're also gangster. It's like they're two entities, Blue Angels, Thunderbirds, and then like once a year they'll do a show together. I have never been to the one
Where they do it
where they
together.
do it together, but I've been to each individual
You're like,
one.
but it's on my list. I'm
It's
gonna go.
on the bucket list. It's happening one day, hands down. Okay, so back to the list.
Okay.
Talents in relation
To grit, right?
to success.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, talents in relation to success, and compare that to grit. So, like, how important is talent? How important is grit in relation to success? I already have an opinion.
Okay.
I already have an opinion, but I want to hear yours.
I don't have an opinion yet, so
Right.
I'm formulating it in the moment.
No, you're good.
I think
Just fun to think about.
I think off the top, I actually think grit is more important.
Yeah.
I think grit is more important, and that comes from who I would consider, like, if I had to choose a side, I feel like I have both. I feel like I'm a talented person,
Yeah.
and I'm also a person who has grit. If I were to, like, find a range, as if we're like, oh, you're about 80% this or 30% that or whatnot. I
Like a little graph chart.
I feel like in my approach or whatever it is, I feel like I probably had more talent than grit. I still had grit, but I felt like maybe my talent was a little bit more just in my own psyche. However, what I realized for the success, like the grit, you need to have that. You actually need to have both. You need to have both, and I feel like everybody has a different balance. I'm like coming up with the answer.
No, I love it. I love it.
Like I'm going one way, and then as I'm explaining it, I'm like, actually, I kind of lean in this other way.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes you need to hear it out loud. You
Yeah.
ever verbally process things and you're like, actually, this idea contradicts that a little bit, and I actually believe this more.
Yeah, I mean, it's really both, and I. Is the question which one is more important, or
No.
like clarify that?
There was no question. It was just the relation between talent and success and grit and success.
Okay.
That's all it was.
Yeah,
It's just
no,
like
for
how
sure.
they relate.
For sure you need both, right? Because I think if you're really talented at something, doesn't matter what it is. You're talented at martial arts, you're talented at singing, like you already put yourself in this position to kind of be maybe in the spotlight because you're rising to the cream of the crop of whatever it is. You're the best singer in the class, or you're the most athletic person in PE or whatever. And so you have this natural talent or natural ability that puts you on a track to go in a certain direction towards success. Now I can put all of my energy into this thing that I found that I'm kind of really good at. However, you get to a point where like that's not enough.
Yeah, a certain level of mastery.
A certain level of mastery. It doesn't matter how much level of mastery it is. Like now you have to have this grit of like pushing through something,
Right.
or working hard for something, or like, because it's not just going to be like, oh, you're talented, like then let me give you everything because you're just so talented. Here's everything.
Sure.
Like
You
know,
still have to work towards it.
you still have to work towards
Yeah.
it, and I think that's when like the grit comes in, or when things get hard, like how much grit do you have?
Can you endure?
Yeah, feel free to like
I'm on it.
whatever, move things around,
I'm on
shift
it.
things, like
I'm on it.
Your thing.
I'm
fell
gonna go.
down.
Which did?
This thing fell down. You just gotta like do a little
push
hip
it.
escape, little
Little
scoot
push,
back.
poo, little butt scoot.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
It was
you
a free
you what you
tutorial.
do.
I'm gonna put my feet up over here.
Yeah, are you good?
Swoop, swoop.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Smooth.
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now
Oh,
we're talking.
Dang.
We got the angle going.
Dang! Look at this one, making herself feel
I
at
should
home.
have drank my coffee just like this.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Tyner.
Oh man, this is fun. Thanks for asking me on here.
You're welcome. You're a fun guest.
It's easy to talk to you. I think when you experience a certain level of vulnerability with being a battle buddy and like being really close proximity to each other throughout that entire week, and the fact that it was a week, right? It's the same thing as like tournaments when you go for like a week,
Right.
and then all of a sudden these people that you went with, you're like, oh, it's kind of weird not having you around every day.
Right. I was seeing you every day, and like this really like focused moment of my life right here.
Sure.
Yeah.
When you're hyper aware of everything, because you're trying to keep certain bad vibes out and get good vibes the entire freaking week, right?
sure,
So
for
you're
sure.
like hyper emotionally aware that whole week. It's definitely intimate, right? it brings you really close to people.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things I love the most about fighting, is getting that intimacy of like talking to somebody every day, seeing them every day, seeing them in their various states, like, I don't know, learning a little bit about them.
Yeah, no, there's definitely, I mean, even last night when I was talking with Dom, we talked about, like, the people who I'm still pretty close with from, like, high school, like, from, like,
Yeah.
a long time ago, like, the people who I wrestled with. Why? Because you're in there with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're also battling. You know what I mean? Maybe,
Yeah.
even it's like, whether you're in the same weight class or not, like, sometimes I'm battling you in practice, but then you can also just be someone who's also on the team, and we're having to run these sprints together, and we're having to do these, we're going to these tournaments on the weekends together, and you, like, we're not actually going to war, but we're going to war.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we are, you know, like, and you definitely build that camaraderie with somebody, because you put yourself in these, like, high stress situations, and you just kind of, like, you're just rocking together, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's one of the benefits of being human is other humans.
Yeah.
I think enduring, embrace the suck, right?
Embrace the suck.
ETS, embrace the suck. But it's all about enduring. It's about the process of enduring. I really did this for weight cuts, because I needed like a mental reminder of like, hey, stay in that fucking bath. Like, don't get out. Lean into it.
Endure
Lean.
the suck.
Any time I think like that I want to get out, I'm like, lean into it, Ashley. Because if I want to get out, that means I'm starting to fight and pull away. I'm like, lean into it. It's like a slip. You know, a lot of people slip like.
Right.
But if you lean into it, you actually have a better sight and a better slip. It's kind of the same idea.
It is. I like that.
Just lean into
You
it.
gotta lean into it. That's definitely a thing. Talk about embracing the suck. Like,
Yeah.
getting tattoos, right? Like, the tattoo's painful. Like, when you just like lean, like you accept the pain. You just like breathe through. Like, you lean into it, and then it's like it's almost not as bad.
You're like, ooh.
Yeah, all right.
Ooh.
Here we are. You know what I mean?
Right? And you know it comes in waves. When you're getting a tattoo, it's like waves. Just like lean into it. All right. Let me just. Okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. What are your thoughts before you got on that list?
Talent. Oh, about talent and grit.
Yeah. What you said? You're like, I already have an opinion on that.
Yeah, I do, because I think about this kind of stuff a lot. These topics are obviously like something that's already being played in my head.
Sure.
And some of them are like over and over, like have a lot of volume. So yeah, I have viewpoints. That's not to say that they can't be changed to some extent and like refined by other people's viewpoints, which is why I wanted you to go first. But I think up to a certain level, all you need is grit. I think from beginning to mediocre, all you need is grit. And I think anything anything that's past like mediocre, if you want to be really good at something, you need a certain level of talent. But talent, I just relate to rate of learning or intelligence. So intelligent people are usually a little bit more talented in some things, right? Maybe not their body, because, you know, I get that there's different types of intelligence, but rate of learning, somebody who learns very quickly and can, like, on the computer.
Sure.
And immediately once you teach them how to code, they can start coding. Like, oh, you're so talented, you can do that quickly. Right? That's what we usually say.
Right.
So they have talent initially, but if you don't have talent, you can still get pretty decent at something. Like, if you're not talented and it takes you 6 months to learn how to throw a freaking jab, whatever, you learned how to throw the jab.
Right.
Some people have to persevere longer than others. They have a harder time. That sucks. But once you get through it, you're still going to have the skill that you were trying to achieve. It's going to happen. Some people's bridges are longer than others. It happens.
This is just the nature of life.
Yeah, this is just life. You're going to have to work at something. You might as well work at something that you like. It is, and then once you get past mediocre and you get into this talent portion, that's where you find passion. I don't think you find passion for something here at the beginning. I don't think you can. I think you have to be at least mediocre at it and understand certain intricacies of it to really have a passion for it.
Wow, I like that.
It's something different, but yeah. I don't think you can experience true passion until you hyperfixate on something long enough to understand every aspect of it. And then you're like, no, I feel passion in every depth of my soul for this thing.
Wow, those are fun things to think about. I like this because like the idea is like to have conversations and like whether we're being vulnerable or talking about real things about life or exchanging ideas or thoughts. Like I think when I was trying to draft what I wanted this podcast to be, it was like to create a space where people could share stories, exchange thoughts, and possibly leave inspired. Something of that nature.
Yeah.
I didn't really have time to come up with my whole what is this podcast going to be, but it's like that because now after this, like I know for me personally, like, I'm going to be thinking about that. This little ecosystem you have of grit, talent, and passion.
Yeah.
Not that it's gonna drive me every day. How you probably thought about this for a while, but like wow, that's a fun thing to think about. Because like even in answering, it's like I'm just answering this in the moment. Like I didn't, that's not a topic that I've been exploring. But I like that.
Yeah, and I definitely identify with what you said about grit. You need to still do the work to get there. Like you can be as talented as you want, but if you don't go shoot that basketball 100 times, you're never going to be a master at it.
Right.
You might be really good for somebody that's beginning, but you compare yourselves to people who have been doing it for 10 years and you're still not going to be good at it unless you use the grit and the hard work to get there. So you need them in tandem with each other to build a very good athlete, right? Top 1%, you have to have both.
Right. You talk about like a Kobe Bryant.
You have to have both.
Yeah, both. That is completely both.
At the very top.
The top talent, top grit, like.
But you don't need it at the amateur levels.
No.
That's the fun part. Is that you have these people who would never in their life become a professional fighter, but they're going to go test themselves at these amateur fights, and they put in the work. Maybe they don't have a natural aversion to it. That makes it even better. That makes the win better. Like, it makes it like...
Yeah, you just put yourself in this fight or flight mode of like fighting another human being, and this ain't even fully your jam.
Dude!
Like, but you're putting yourself in this...
But you're gonna do it.
You're gonna do it.
Oh man, I love people like that, who like have their 9 to 5, and they come to the gym, and they work their ass off in the gym, and they go fight this amateur fight, and they murder the person because they put in the work. I love it. Izzy recently.
Ooh,
love you,
shout out
Iz.
to Izzy.
Shout out to Izzy.
Hey.
Just smashed her PKB. All the girls that day did. All of them. Anne got a stoppage from the freaking knee. Like,
sick.
South, and then Kayla won hers too. And she had a tougher opponent because Lexi's pretty good. Lexi has really good hands, in my opinion. So just stopped her movement, side to side kicks, which is fun because I made her kick me. Like over and over again. Like her last PKB she didn't get matched for, and it was actually before that one, and we'd only been together a couple weeks. Kayla I kind of like brought over here and have been helping her a little bit, and I'm standing in front of her. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna angle both sides. Every time I angle to one direction, you have to kick me to the direction I'm angling, and it cuts off people's movement because she's pretty tall. So that's what short people are gonna do. Angle. I'm like, every time I go, just kick me.
Yeah, you gotta cut off the ring.
And
you gotta own the space.
3 months later, we hadn't ever worked that again. And 3 months later, she like does it in her fight. Right. And I'm like, yes!
I'm sure that felt so good.
Bro, it felt so good.
Were you just surfing right there? What was that one?
I don't know, man. I got power moves. Ugh.
That was just an involuntary stoke. I'm just so stoked right now.
Bah! Bah!
Exactly.
Involuntary stoke.
Right? Like you're just so stoked I need to do something.
Man, that's almost as good as swagger jack. That's a term I learned from John.
Okay, swagger jack, talking about you swagger jacking that statement for me.
Yeah.
I actually think I got that from Kobe Bryant. And it's so funny because I brought Kobe
No
Bryant.
way.
I think there was like a documentary or a conversation I was listening to, and he was talking about Tim Duncan. I could be like, it's so vague.
Yeah.
But I definitely got the swagger jacking phrase from someone in basketball. And I do feel like I want to credit it to like Kobe.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure. So Kobe fans, don't quote me on that.
Right.
Or Kobe fans be like, yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have said it once. He might have copied it from somebody else.
Yeah.
We're just
Either way,
consistently.
is a cool...
Swagger jacking.
Yeah.
So you're just like stealing some. Oh, that said camera was too hot for a second.
Oh, okay. We're going to take a pause. But what did you see it blinking red for a little bit?
I don't know. Yeah, so it just
went out?
It just went out. It just had the thing where it said camera too hot.
Okay, that is basically the universe telling us to take a break. So
Intermission.
We're going to take a little pause. And,
Intermission.
BRB. Okay, can you hit the record button at the top over there?
Yeah.
Vibrating.
Red.
Okay,
All the fun things.
Sound check. Oh, I didn't know this. Okay, sound check. Okay, we are back.
We're back.
You know, this is just kind of part of figuring things out as you go.
It was our government 10-minute issued break.
Yeah, so overheating batteries or overheating GoPros, you just gotta you gotta go with it. We're figuring it out as we go.
Riding the wave.
Riding the wave.
I like how you're figuring it out as you go. Like we were talking about this earlier, you get more out of just doing. Then it's like, I need everything to be perfect to start, right? Everybody sees those memes that are like, oh, I need to be everything perfect to start. And then they never start because they're waiting for everything to be perfect. As opposed to the person who just starts and makes way more progress and learns way more because they're just delving into whatever the thing is. I feel like that's what you're doing with the podcast.
100%.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I'm doing. And so if you've been coming along for the ride, we are now on episode 6. As you can see, I mess up as I go. But it was one of those things where I was like, I feel like I talked to you the week that I got the news from the doctor that it was like, oh, it's going to be
The day after.
It was the day after.
We had coffee.
We had coffee. It was actually probably a Wednesday, just like this, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we had coffee, was that 3 weeks ago now?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago. We had coffee 3 weeks ago. I had a doctor's appointment the day before. And I knew I was going to have to go home for 6 weeks because I'm like, oh, I'm going to be stuck in a sling. I'll just stay with mom and dad. And then like when I found out that it was like, hey, dude, you're not going to be allowed to hold anything heavier than a cup of coffee for about 3 or 4 months. So you're not doing any bartending or martial arts or anything of that nature. And I was like, oh, dang. He was like, yeah, you're actually probably going to be on disability for close to half a year. Like it's a slow recovery, you know? And it just put me in the space of like, oh, shit, I'm leaving San Diego.
Yeah.
Like, I can come back, kind of like how we talked earlier about, like, I can come back after that 6 months, but like, a lot can change in 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm no stranger to change. I know like a lot can happen and, you know, all these things. So I was like, well, what do I want to do with the last 4 weeks? It's like, man, I wanted to film so much content while I was here, even just like my own personal content, whether it's martial arts stuff or van lifing or this and that. And then it was like the podcast was something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, and we were talking about even content creation when we were hanging out over coffee.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I just have to do it. I have to go. You know, like what can I get in order? So the first couple of weeks were like, okay, I need to get some lights. Okay, what's the audio sound like? Okay, I need another GoPro. Like, I guess we're just gonna full
Pull
send.
the trigger.
You know, and before it was like talking about waiting for the moment because I've been wanting to do this since I basically got into the van. It's like, oh, I want to wait till I have more money and I'm just gonna then I'll invest in the equipment or you know, I'm always using my time to do martial arts. Or like I have to curate of like I don't even have a title. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Tea House Talk is the working title.
Yeah,
but like,
I like it.
Is that actually going to stick? I don't know. Like, I want to be thoughtful about it, but it's like, I don't have the time to be thoughtful about it because time is running out. I just need to be like, let's film all these podcasts so that when I'm post-surgery, I can now just edit them, but like, literally figuring it out as I go. I haven't even watched any of them. I'm just like, we're gonna see them for the first time. I don't even have time.
You should probably try to watch one of them because then you could be like, when you're reviewing, right, then you can be like, oh, I want to do this differently.
Yeah, no, there's for sure that like
rough cuts.
Yeah, I mean, I've like poked in, maybe like watched just a couple minutes here and there.
Oh, yeah,
like Shane and I made this adjustment. We just watched a little bit for the first 4 episodes. After the first 4 episodes, I went and visited him again and be like, bro, this is all happening. The GoPros are shutting off and like my things are overheating. Like, or what do I do? Like the whole troubleshooting, like help me. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
And then it was like after that adjustment, it was like, you know what? Let's just throw all the GoPros on the second mount, like against the wall over here, and like not even have to worry about this song and dance of like putting them here and moving them. He was like, let's just go towards simplicity. Like that's what this tea house is about anyways, is simplicity. And then so it's like you make those adjustments. I mean, 4 episodes in, I made that adjustment. I'm like, all right, Dom's is going to be the first one that's like that. Ashley's going to be like that. And then we're just going to rock this. And so I feel like this season of podcasting, you know, pre-surgery is like, this is my experiment almost.
Yeah.
And it'll tell me what it is that I want or how I want to craft it or what I want to serve or how I'm going to do the whole song and dance.
Yeah.
So it's cool. And I'm grateful for people like you who are willing to be on the
here.
show
I'm
in its raw form.
Yeah. I'm grateful to be here. And I think it's good to start simple.
Yeah.
Right? I think you can add complexities to anything. But starting simple, mastering the basics in any sport is the first part, right? You have to like footwork. Go do some footwork. And then you master that. And then you're like, now I can add things. And I'm sure you'll get to the point where you're adding all kinds of things and it'll be a very different show. It will evolve over time, but that delicate balance of not overthinking it, because before you were overthinking it and it never happened.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I don't want to underthink it. And I'm like, yeah, but you're doing it. So regardless, when you're doing it, you're gonna put more thought power into it.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to give it that acknowledgement. Whereas when you're not doing it, you're not going to give it as much acknowledgement. And then you're like, oh, no, I can't. And you put up these barriers to wait. So I'm glad you just jumped in. 2 feet, dude.
Yeah.
2
Full
feet,
send.
right in a bucket of water. Let's do it.
Honestly, I feel like I was able to roll off the energy of the Bellator fight because
Yeah.
the Bellator fight for me was a full send. Like,
Yeah.
bro, you're about to just go do that right now.
Yeah.
After all these years, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Like just send it. And like even despite like how things unfolded in the end, like the energy of sending it
Is a
anyways.
great experience.
I'm sending, my shoulder's torn, but I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck it, let's go anyways. Like the full send energy, I was able to, after I hit that, you talk about that post-fight like lull that you have, and I come back up and I have to do these things. Like I was able to like, okay, we're just gonna send it again. Like,
You're like, that was so much fun.
like, but it's a different
Take
send,
two.
right?
Take two.
Like, oh, buy the lights. Okay, buy this. Okay, do this. Okay, you know what? I was like calling people and I was making appointments or whatever you want to call
Before
it.
you had the tech.
Before I even had the tech. I just have to, because people's
go.
time is thin. Like, you know what I mean? It's hard to.
Yeah.
I'm basically having to like match up like a dozen people's different schedules,
And you only got 4 weeks.
and I only have 4 weeks. And
then it got shortened because the cameras weren't here on time.
yeah, I didn't even get the cameras till 2 weeks in,
Yeah.
basically, and so it's like I'm scheduling people and I'm like, hey, I don't even have all my stuff yet. Can we reschedule? But it was one of these things of like, I just had to throw myself into the fire, of like, let's just do it. Like, and hopefully that it'll show up when I get there. You know what I mean? Like by the time I get to the point for the first podcast, I hope all the stuff that I've ordered is here.
Yeah.
Because this is where we're at.
I think that's when you learn the most in your life.
Yeah.
Is when whatever you do, you commit to it like 100%. And
Yeah.
you're just like, I'm going to do this freaking thing. And regardless, that's when you commit, that's when you are able to unlock the level of mastery that you need to be passionate about something. But if you never push, you're never going to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think even just the energy of it, we were talking about emotions earlier, right? Like inside out, like, oh, this filter and that
Yeah.
filter and anger and
Little
joy
Disney
and
movie.
happiness. The energy of, like we can say full send, we can say being committed 100%. We're basically saying the same thing. We're using different words to describe that energy, but that energy is so good. Like that feels so good to just like fully send something.
Yeah.
To be fully committed on something. Doesn't matter. Like when we were cutting weight, you said something to me to divorce yourself from the outcome. And when you're able to do that, then you can just fully send it because you're no
Bro.
longer attached to that.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
I need to win. I better not fuck up.
yeah.
And as opposed to, let's see what I can do. Like, let's see what I'm capable of.
Yeah, and so I took that same energy again, talking about taking some things from this last chapter as I like go into this new one. I took some of that energy, right? Because that also helps with the battle of wanting things to be perfect before I start, wanting to have the title, wanting to have the guest, wanting to have a theme. It's like I have an idea of what I want to do, not fully yet. We'll figure it out as we go. Being able to divorce myself from the outcome of like, how is this going to turn out? How is it going to look? Is it even going to be good? Like I don't know, but you know what? There's something telling me to do it, so we're just going to do it.
We're just gonna do it.
Divorce yourself from the outcome of
Yeah.
how it's going to be. Like,
Yeah. Kobe actually said that.
Oh, dang!
We're bringing up Kobe
Rest
a
in
lot.
peace.
We're bringing up
Rest in
Kobe
peace.
a lot.
Yeah,
I
nah,
just
good
think
energy.
Respect.
Yeah, no, all the things. The respect, the rest in peace, the inspiration. I don't
Yeah.
even wear my snake ring, little black mamba action,
You know, what's funny is what you're talking about that. I think one of the MMA fighters, I think it was Tisha Torres. I don't remember who it was. It was one of the UFC fighters, and she literally just made a post recently about how when she's focused on winning, she doesn't perform as well. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, oh, I've already made this switch. And she's at the highest levels, whoever it is. I don't remember who it was. But she's at the highest levels, and she just learned how to make that mental switch. And I feel like I'm going to have an advantage there because I've already made that switch where I'm like, yes, I love winning, obviously.
Yeah,
But
who doesn't love winning?
I love performing more. Like, I love performing more. Love seeing where my limits are, what I'm capable of, and how hard I can push. A lot more than I just love winning in a loser fashion. Oh, I did just enough.
Right.
Like, no, I want to dominate my fights. Like,
Yeah.
And I did.
I was gonna say what you did.
And I did.
Oh my
bro.
gosh.
And I did. That Bellator fight was a dream.
Yeah. Oh man, what a dream debut. It was like a semi-massacre out there. You're just like throwing, just like. Yep.
Oh man, the blood, the joy I felt. Like, there's this clip. Maybe you can clip it in there, but it's I'm Southpaw, and I hit her with a hook, and it lands clean, but like she doesn't react. And so then I load up and I hit her with another hook as she's coming in, and she like stumbles. And that's when I got the smile. And the whole fight, I didn't like make very many expressions. I don't typically.
Yeah.
But after this, like I just felt pure joy. Just like, because I saw her stumble off a hook, and I was like, that wasn't even a kick. And then I put both
This
of
isn't even my final form.
Now I go Super Saiyan. So, and then I get this big old smile, and I start walking forward with my hands down, and just hands down throw a big teep, like as hard as I can, and just blah! Like no read, just throw it.
Yeah.
Joy, dude.
What a wreck.
You can't mimic anything like that. It's so hard. Sparring doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
Like the first couple times you spar, you know, that fear, that out of body experience, that's all good shit. And you definitely experience that. But nothing like you're always still worried about the other person until you fight. I care very much about my training partners. And I'm at a certain level of mastery now where it's like I have to be very careful not to hurt them.
Right.
Because they're the same size as me, or they're small, like girls especially.
Yeah.
Like it's tough because a lot of them are smaller than me in the gym, and so I have to play carefully. I can't use certain weapons. I need to stay away from it. And when I fight, I don't have to limit myself at all. I get to see exactly if were able to do anything. If I was able to hurt my training partners, what would I do?
Right.
Probably this.
Yeah.
Do I want to hurt my training partners? No, I freaking love my training partners.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to be able to spar me day after day after
Yeah.
day.
You don't want to break your toys.
No! Then I have to stop playing.
Exactly. Yeah, sparring is so fun. It does feel like play.
It does.
Does feel like play. Okay. It feels like play when you get to a certain level of mastery.
Yeah.
So I think in the beginning it's just a very fight or flight time where we're just scrapping. But then once you acquire these skills and then you play these games and we're talking about strategy and half counts and setups and timing and all these counters, then it's play because now it's like hunting. We're hunting and you're hunting and I'm hunting and it's like.
And we're trying to figure out, go toe to toe and figure out what your brain is doing and how we can take advantage of it.
Yeah, like what are you looking for right now? Okay, I see
that little kick.
Yeah.
Stupid little crescent kick.
I get everybody with that.
Thank God.
I get everybody with that one and the side kick, and everybody just does the same thing. They shake their head. You're like, you motherfucker.
Well, it's funny because I get people with a side kick a lot, and my side kick is not nearly as good as yours or Jordan's. And so when I spar you both, I get frustrated in the same type of way because you have this side kick that keeps me on the outside, and usually I'm an outside fighter, but it's tough. It's tough when people have that range control.
Right.
And I usually have better range control than my opponents.
Because you're usually the taller fighter.
I'm the taller fighter. And with you guys, you and Jordan both have impeccable range control. And it gives me pause. So I like it, and then at times I hate it.
Yeah.
And
it's all a love-hate.
Mad.
It's all a love-hate.
Just mad.
But now
just want to do better.
You get to swagger jack some of those techniques.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. And I'm definitely taking that crescent kick and running with it.
Yeah.
That thing's gnarly.
It actually, I really sharpened it up with Carl. Shout out to Carl.
Shout out to Carl.
Yeah. Oh, we
Best
love you,
coach.
man. Yeah.
We could go an entire rant right now and do an entire podcast just on how much we love Carl.
Yeah, no, amazing coach. But working with him,
Yeah.
he really sharpened it. I always had it as a weapon, but it just maybe hadn't been polished in a while, or I hadn't put it into my repertoire of timing. And then when I started working with him, because he's got that Taekwondo background, he was able to contribute to my kicks. You just needed a little bit of this, and you can evolve in all these different directions. My kicking game leveled up tremendously. It was always good.
That's awesome.
It was always good, but I feel like it got a lot more refined working with him.
Yeah, refined is how I feel like I got as well.
Yeah.
I came in as a good fighter, right? I've only been at Steel, 3 years? I've been fighting for 10. So most of my career was actually in Fresno. And I feel like all of my basic rudimentary skills were awesome. And I was mostly a leverage fighter. Leverage. And now I have more boxing pop. I have think that my inside fighting's gotten better. And I've just, I mean, you get exposed to different things and you take things from everybody.
Do you do any like just boxing anywhere to work on inside fighting? Like just boxing, like not we're doing kicks or anything like that?
Sometimes. There's a women's boxing network in San Diego.
Yeah.
And they'll set these like, just like training matchups essentially.
Yeah.
And you go for the day and you spar a couple people and it's all boxing. And then Loba will do boxing sometimes. Like, I know when she was nursing an injury, she was just doing boxing. I think her next fight might be boxing. So if yeah, maybe. I think so. So if I run into Loba, I'll like do some boxing and, yeah. I honestly though, I can only box for so long.
Yeah.
Couple rounds.
But I mean, it's talk about these elements, like it's good to know these different elements or be able to play in these different spaces, whether you're talking about inside
Small
or mid-range or things like that.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about like where you're going to shine, like you're a long-range fighter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you have long weapons, so it's like you play to your strengths. These were your God-given talents. Like lean into those. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I know I'm good at this, or I know I'm agile or quick. Cool, we're gonna play into these talents.
Yeah.
You know,
because I did get talents. Like we're talking about grit and talents, and I've always had grit, but with martial arts, in sports in general, I've had talent. Like I can learn it quickly. I can tell my body what to do. Mm-hmm. But I didn't understand for a very long time, like in high school, that if you put in a certain amount of grit, you would achieve a certain level of mastery. And I feel like that was like one of the most mind-blowing things I learned as an adult. I was like, oh, I just have to put in a bunch of time and I can be good at almost anything. That's crazy. Let me go be good at this, and this.
That's crazy.
I'm like, that's nuts. That's all it takes.
Yeah, that's
literally
the rule of this video game? That's all you have to do?
Why didn't anybody tell me this 10 years ago? What? Like, literally, life is a video game. You just got to go learn the moves and you can do the thing. What are people complaining about? Like, what are they? Oh, I can't do what I love, this and that. Yeah, you actually can. You just have to figure out how to do it at the top level. Like, if you're actually talented at the thing, you still have to work your ass off, and then you'll get to the top level, and then you can do anything you want. But once you've mastered, like, one skill, it's significantly easier
to master another skill.
Because you know what it takes, you know the process. And for martial arts, I think it's small things, like learning speed ladders as a kid. I did a lot of football. So speed ladders, boom. My footwork, yep, I knew exactly how to put my feet where you told me to put my feet. And it's just a culmination of small skills that you learn over a lifetime. Everything contributes.
So
just keep learning skills. Skill acquisition. Most important, underrated thing you can do in your life. Start acquiring skills. Just do the thing, figure out what you're doing wrong, figure out what you're doing right, and then acquire that skill, and that will never go away. It will serve you in all kinds of scenarios you never thought it would.
Cheers to that. Yeah. I know you're probably empty in your cup right here.
I'm definitely empty.
You want some more water or anything?
Mm-hmm.
How you doing? I got you on water.
Nice.
I'll make sure I don't unplug this mic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good shit. Let's see what else I got on here. Let's see if there's any good ones.
Some water for you.
One of the things I actually started changing my mindset with recently, because thought work is really important. It's underrated. But is struggle with a purpose. And so people used to always be like, oh, you need to find your why. And I was terrible at that. I never understood the find your why. Like, I was like, I don't have a why. I just want to do it. Like, what are you talking about?
Why can't that be your why?
Exactly. So I was struggling with that because I thought that it needed to be different than it already was. But when it got rephrased into struggle with a purpose, and I'm like, oh, well, fighting is my purpose. But just saying fighting's my purpose feels weird. But struggle with a purpose, my purpose is I get to fight at the end of this. Like, I get to let go. I get to just unleash, full send. Let the animal inside me out. And full send is fun. Like, I do it on snowboarding too. You just, as fast as I can go, let's go. Full send. So,
it wasn't surfing earlier, it was snowboarding.
It was snowboarding.
I see the move.
I don't know how to surf, but I do know how to snowboard. That was one of my adrenaline sports. Yeah, full send. But struggling with that purpose in mind all the time is easy for me. I'm like, oh, I have to endure this because I have this. Like, it's easier to hold to sobriety. It's easier to hold to your food. Like, as soon as I have a fight on the books, I don't even get cravings. Everything shuts off. I'm like, nope, I got to fight. That's my purpose.
Isn't it crazy how you talk about managing your thoughts or something of that nature, right? Like, all that happened in that moment, like, life was actually just the same. Like, there's a thought that I have a fight coming up, and so all of a sudden your mind shifts. Nothing else actually shifts. Somehow your mind shifts. It locks onto something.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the thing that was hard to do, which is like, say, battle your cravings, all of a sudden the cravings disappear.
Dude,
It doesn't even like, you're just like so locked in. And so I guess the question is, and maybe not necessarily for us to come up with an answer, it's like, how can we, or why don't we, like, train our minds to be able to just lock in on something?
I think a lot of people do. It's called hyperfocus. And people with ADHD do it all the time. They go down these rabbit holes on freaking Google at 2 a.m. How many times have you done that? Where you're just like, I mean, me too many times. But like, I should be in bed. And then I have this thought right as I'm about to go to sleep, which is like a conscious waking state that I feel like is like you can use for a lot of things. But I'm like, oh, I wonder, like, I get really curious about life and then science. And I start going into rabbit holes for like 30 minutes or an hour. And if it's during the day, sometimes I'll like listen to a podcast and it branches off and I'm like, oh, I need to find out everything about this topic right now. Like, let me go add 4 other podcasts to this and then cross-reference what everybody has in common that I respect in terms of a podcaster, what their nutrition viewpoints are for each one and what is the commonalities between the 4, because those are probably the pillars that I need to build my nutrition on. Like,
You just go in.
I just full send that bitch.
Yeah.
I full send. So hyperfixation, much easier for people with ADHD. I think people do it all the time.
That's why people with ADHD are good at jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
That's what Craig Jones says, right?
Yeah. Because they're like, I'm just going to find a guard or a pass that I like, and I'm going to learn 7 different variations of it, and then nobody's going to know how to defend all 7.
Yeah. Like, you're going to fall into one of these traps.
One of them's going to work.
Once I get you into the spider web, you're dead. It's only a matter of time before you're dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One of the other things I had written down about struggling with a purpose is reframing the mindset of struggle. So, like, people don't want the struggle, right? They try to avoid it. We're talking about leaning into it. If you look at it as an opportunity to overcome, you're looking at it as an opportunity to like climb a mountain or whatever. But people avoid discomfort a lot. And the minute that you stop avoiding discomfort and you're like, I'm going to struggle with a purpose towards this, and then because this is an opportunity to push my inner limits to see if I can handle more.
Yes, all of that. I think, and this almost comes back to full circle when we were talking about like the ice bath and like discomfort, right? And you talk about like growing, or like what do you talk about? You got to get out of your comfort zone.
Sure.
Right? Oh, you want to go move to another country you've never been to? You're obviously getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like the discomfort is where the growth is. Discomfort is where the evolution is.
Discomfort is where the dopamine is.
Right. Also, like,
Like all the things.
we are so oversaturated with comfort.
Yeah.
Everything's about comfort. We have temperature controlled rooms, right? Like, put the AC on, it's too hot. Put the heater on, it's too cold. Like, oh, I want this right now. We have convenience, we have comfort, we have like all these things. So since we're not practicing discomfort on our own, then when something uncomfortable happens, people have a hard time with change, or whatever it is that's happening, because there's an uncomfortable situation and they can't handle it,
and they tend to try and escape it.
Right. But if you're introducing yourself to discomfort, which you know is helping you grow, the struggle is helping you grow, then when you actually get to some insurmountable obstacle, it's like, no, I know how to embrace the struggle.
One step at a time.
I know how to get through this. You know what I mean? And like, yeah.
Easy.
Someone on the outside moving around the van doing something. Gardeners or something.
It sounded like a wagon.
Yeah,
it sounded like the big wheels that you use on the beach, the plastic ones.
Yeah.
It sounded like a wagon.
Tick, tick, tick. Yeah.
Fucking love struggle. It's where all of my best moments ever have been.
I think we need it.
Yeah.
I think we need it. I
Yeah.
think we need to struggle, and I feel like we run from struggle. And like, you know, embracing the suck is the same thing as embracing the struggle.
Oh yeah,
and
they're
that's
the same.
an S. So
They're
it's like-
synonymous.
yeah.
Are you kidding? This means 17 different things. Whenever I need it to mean something else, it does. But I got it originally for embrace the suck because Taylor told me I couldn't put suck on my body somewhere. My wife decided that that wasn't a very nice word or attractive word or whatever.
So you got
she's
ETS.
like, I got ETS, and me and Susan actually got it together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got matching tattoos.
That's gangster.
And hers means.
Oh, Susan's gangster.
Yeah, hers. So you're doing Susan next.
I knew to get you
But
on
hers
here.
means
her on here.
enjoy this shit. So for her
Ooh,
leaning into
I like
it,
that too.
yeah, leaning into it means I just pretend that I enjoy the struggle. That's for her. She just pretends like that she enjoys it, and at some point she's like, "Yep, when it's really hard, I just enjoy it." Like it's her type of leaning into it.
Yeah.
Like it's different.
Yeah. But you have to find your way to lean into it.
Yeah, what mental framework is going to work for you to put it in a position where you can lean into it comfortably. And it depends on what your self-talk is.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
again is mental framework.
Yeah.
Your self-talk is the structure of
Yeah.
how you are perceiving.
Yeah. Like the people I admire most are the most resilient people, right? So that's what I channel when I want to channel my toughness, like before a fight.
Yeah.
I'll think about like resilience in general and how I can withstand a good amount of struggle and turmoil before I can be overcome. And I think some of it's like that grit of being like growing up a little cowgirl, when with brothers who are like, girls don't do these things. And I'm like, girls do these things better than boys. What are you talking about? And, if you get hurt and you end up, you don't cry, you don't sit down and you pretend you're a victim. Like, oh no, this happened. It's just like, well, this happened and I did this anyway, in spite of that.
Yeah.
That little edge has always been part of my personality.
Yeah, no, we were talking about that when you were cutting weight for Bellator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Yeah. So it's kind of like that edge. I remind myself I'm resilient
Yeah.
all the time.
That's a great reminder. That's a great reminder. I have a question for you.
Oh,
I have a question for you.
I love talking about me.
Yeah, I know you do. She really does, like, ladies and gentlemen, she really does.
I think a lot. I just.
No, so I have a question for you, and I think we've talked about a lot of things. We can obviously continue to talk, right? Like this.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ashley's going to be a recurring guest on this
I hope so.
podcast.
I'm enjoying it.
But I have a question for you because we've obviously got to talk about a lot of things which highlight different parts of you. Talking about your science stuff, or like that initial nerdy connection we had about Avatar,
Dude,
or like
love Avatar.
all the things, right? And when we were talking about, say, like brand identity or content creation, when we were hanging out basically 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
And it's like, man, you go to my Instagram page and you see Ashley the fighter.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all you see, Ashley the fighter.
The
which-
one facet.
the one facet, right? But you're basically a kaleidoscope of a person. There's all these different things that make up who you are
We
and
all
what
are.
make you tick. Yeah. So in this space where we've talked about lots of different things, from science of stuff to cartoons or fighting or whatever, like
Yeah. To inner
what-
drive.
to inner drive to grit. I mean, we've talked about so many different things.
Right.
But say in terms of you, what is it you would want people to see of you that's not just fighting?
Yeah, I mean it's like all of the kaleidoscope things, right? Like I think I get taught things through each stage of life that contribute to me wholly as a person. But I think one of the things that remains throughout all of it since I was a kid and everything is how like really sensitive and deeply emotional I am, and how that helps me experience like really low lows, really high highs. But in those low lows and those high highs, there's a lot of vulnerability. And I think that I don't express my vulnerability in those senses, like telling people the depth of the emotions I experience. I almost never adequately convey it to people because I feel different. Like I just feel different than, and maybe I feel too deeply, and Probably, right? Sometimes, absolutely. Like, it's debilitating sometimes. Learning within those sensitivities how to turn it into something productive, whether it be a drive to succeed. Like, when you do feel those really low lows, you're like, how do I never feel this again? And then you figure out what you can control in that situation because you don't want to feel out of control anymore. And then you take a step forward to taking back control. And it's harder for sensitive people in the scheme of life. Like, it's harder. But it's also more rewarding because you do experience higher highs than other people that they could never experience. And I think that's what draws me to fighting. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot, right? I think knowing the nerdy parts of me and like how each thing in my life has contributed to the whole of my person is something that I want to touch more on. Like, hey, I had brothers, they made me hard to embarrass, a little goofy, and pretty resilient.
Yeah.
And like, hey, I do this fighting thing, and it made me empowered and made me feel like a badass for the first time in my life. I never felt like a badass before. And I think that people don't realize that too. Like, I felt like an outcast for most of my fucking life, and then overlooked and underestimated and all of these things until I finally became the person that I admired. And that is why I like talking about myself.
You're proud of the work that you've done.
Yeah, I admire myself now so much more than I used to. I used to think I was a loser. And then now I don't feel that way anymore. I've actually honed in on my confidence.
Yeah.
It feels really good.
Yeah. I'm sure it feels good.
It feels great.
I see it exuding off of you all the time.
Yeah. Feels great. I don't know what to tell
Yeah.
you. Like, it doesn't come from a place of cockiness. It comes from a place of success.
Yeah.
Like, I've tested myself over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Until I became successful at these things. And
You're like a mom who's proud of her daughter for like doing all these things, but you're like so proud of yourself. You're like, look how awesome I am
look
right
how
now.
great that is.
Look how great that is.
Yeah.
I just did that.
Yeah, I think more people need to acknowledge themselves.
100%. 100%.
They
more
need
people.
outside validation.
Yeah.
This is why I'm not on Instagram enough. Is because I don't need the outside validation anymore. I have it.
Yeah.
Like,
You have enough self-love to sustain that.
I'm good.
I'm chilling right here, guys.
Good. My wife, she contributes greatly to my sense of validation. So I'm lucky in that sense. But yeah.
Shout out to Taylor.
Shout out to my loving wife who has helped make me a badass.
Yes.
Pushes me. She's learning how to day trade. She's so amazing. So she works 2 jobs, 12-hour shifts. She's a nurse at an urgent care and then critical care transport. So she's on a rig. And then when she has downtime on the rig now, she's learning how to day trade. Well, in the last 3 weeks, she's put in like 100 hours of work. She's hyper fixated right now on day trading and is doing like paper trades. So it's like fake trades, but proof of concept is getting really good at it. And
that's dope.
It makes my heart swell. It does. I admire her a lot for her work ethic in this regard, and I think it's something that she found that she's passionate about because she has a super complex mind. But with nursing, once you learn things, like, then at the end you're like, well, what else I need to learn? Well, that's not in your scope of practice. You don't need to learn anything else. Right.
You have your skills for this particular thing.
With day trading, it's an unlimited learning potential as well as earning potential. It is very complex, and it's something where she's like, oh yeah, I'm learning about the different types of markets for New York, Asia, and England, like London, when they all have different, because they're all in different trading windows based on Monday through Friday, this time to this time, and they all behave differently. And it's like graphs, and you're reading these graphs to try and identify uptrends and downtrends. And that's all it is. And if you can identify when an uptrend's coming, then you put money in.
Right, you capitalize on that.
And boom, you ride the wave, and then you're like, I see that it's kind of having some indecision in the market right here. I think it's going to come down. I'm going to pull out, and then you pull out with a profit. It's a cool thing. It's a cool idea. It's something we never would have thought about, but in the last 3 weeks, she just full send. Went into it.
Jumping into this.
She just dumped it 2 feet, and it is amazing to watch somebody you love go full send into something.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You just have so much respect for them. That's what
Agreed.
people love fighters.
Yeah, because they're just fully sending it.
Yeah.
Like they're fully vulnerable.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Fully vulnerable.
Like getting knocked out or getting
Yeah.
like.
I got slept.
You got slept.
I went to sleep. I
There's
didn't have enough coffee before my
Bro.
fight. Fuck.
There's so much vulnerability in that moment. Like, I'm gonna show you a potentially embarrassing situation right now. Like for me, that's hard to do, and that takes a strength of character that not everybody has. And so I'm always proud of fighters for stepping in the freaking ring, even my opponents. I mean, the next day, you know, I hugged my opponent. I'm like, you know, you look super cute today. You looked great yesterday. Like you, like, just uplifting people because they're doing a hard thing.
It is a hard thing.
And if you take joy out of the accomplishment of just doing a hard thing, like you don't view it as, oh, I have to win or lose. It's, I'm going to go do a hard thing. And that's what I'm going to be.
Right.
I'm going to be proud of myself for having done the hard thing.
Yeah, because you focus on that and then you're divorcing yourself from the outcome.
Yes.
Because you're focusing on the experience and what it's giving you or who you're becoming because of it, not the thing that you actually don't have control over.
Right.
But what
The win or the loss.
What you do have control over is how you show up, how you send it, how
Yes.
you know, do all those things. But yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Let me see if we got any magic. I know that we're getting out of time.
We are losing time here, but that's okay. Or
Okay,
whatever that
last
means.
one. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's rock one more.
So this is
I like this format. It's like Mad Libs. Right?
yeah. It's like, oh, hey, I think I got one more. This is one that I live by now. Alex Ramosi said this, and it's you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So like, and the way he describes it is everybody has the same goal at the beginning of the 100-meter race. They all want to win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But what's key about that is what systems did you put in place did you run every day before you went to, you know, school? Did you eat the proper food? Whatever systems and routines you have every single day will contribute to the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to be like, I have these great goals. If I shoot for the stars, I'm going to fall to the moon. Well, if your systems are in place, you're going to shoot for the moon and you're going to get the fucking stars. Like, you're going to overshoot because you're putting everything in place. I take my powders every single day. I make sure I get a workout in I have the same breakfast like every single day. I have rice and eggs, and it's mostly egg whites, but it's so that I can start my day one with protein, and then if I go do a workout, it's going to be better for burning fat, right? Especially because I got a little bit right now. It's Thanksgiving week. Everybody, just be kind to me.
I was about to go in on you, but I'm not. Be kind. I'm going to practice kindness.
What a guy.
Yeah.
What
Okay,
a guy. So it's just like, whatever your worst system is, that's the level you're going to fall to.
Yep.
And that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, we are our habits.
Yeah.
Right? Like another one, like even in that space, like I think it's James Clear's the author, Atomic Habits. That's a really good book.
Yes. That book is written off of a certain doctor that everybody writes habit books. Like they all quote her research.
Right.
I forget her name. I just learned it this week though. But yes, it's all the same ideas. Continue with what Atomic Habits says, because I haven't actually read it.
Okay, so like there's you talk about you fall to your systems, right?
Yeah.
And Atomic Habits, like it's more about like learning how to create habits, and they talk about like habit stacking, and like if you want to add it, what's something you already do,
Yes,
and then what's something you want to do, and you do it right afterwards. So you have this like automatic cue of like, okay, after this I do this.
Oh yeah.
After that I do that.
And it becomes routine.
And it becomes routine. I think just habits in general, whether it's like, because I haven't read that book in a while, so for me to try and like
no, you're good.
pull into the archives
but
of like all the
what
things
did you
in there.
take from it that's like
For me, it's that. It's like you fall victim to your habits.
Yeah.
If you don't have these things set in place, you know, if you have systems set in place already, then like you don't have to second guess like, oh, did I do that? Like, no, my natural habit is to always do this.
Right.
I always do it like that. And then you become refined in these things, and the more you have these things as habits. And for me, living in a van, I had to create habits because you're in this just free
Small space.
lifestyle. Like you have to do these things to stay organized or maintain,
yeah.
or like, okay, after this I do this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
After I do the dishes, I wash my face. After I wash my face, I brush my teeth. After I brush my, you know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
have these things, or like
it's like a cascading effect.
right before I drive away. These are my checks that I do, right? Because like I can't just drive away with all this stuff out, candle
No, 'cause
out, everything's gonna break. But it comes down to everything, you know, your routines when you're getting ready for a fight. Like, you basically have, like, this is what I do, this is what I eat. Well,
Yep.
when you're locked in, like, then you can just follow this system. You don't have to think about it.
No.
You remove all that mental RAM. You just, like, I already know what I'm going to eat tomorrow morning.
Yep.
You're not waking up saying, like, oh, what am I going to eat?
Nope.
Oh, I'm going to do this. Maybe I do this. Well, what do we have? Like, you go to the grocery store, you're not even thinking, I know I need eggs, I know I need rice.
Yeah.
It's just,
Rice, eggs, and chicken. I eat a lot of that during fight week. Be in there cooking on my little burner.
Well, we can obviously go on. I love that you brought topics. I think that's going to
Yeah.
be something that I like. I mean, I've have ideas, like we'll say with certain people.
Yeah.
But I do like that. I might start implementing that and bringing a notebook into this. Like, again, I don't
You
know
only
what
need
I'm...
a few.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you know, like as each podcast, like I'm adjusting. You
Yeah.
know, I'm learning things about
You're
myself.
adapting.
I'm learning myself about the guests. You know, even technology, GoPros, things stopping recording. Like, it's the whole, like, just, again, learning as you go. And like I said, we can continue to talk for quite some time because
Sure.
knowing us, like, we'll just continue to just talk and ramble.
Yeah.
But if you were to leave our guests, our wonderful guests who have been listening for the last maybe hour and a half, if you would leave them with a gem or a nugget,
Yeah.
whether it's something we already talked about, that's
Yeah,
showing
for
up for
sure.
you,
I
like-
already got one.
Okay,
We're there.
Yeah, what you got for them?
Lean into it. Whatever you're doing this week, do it with so much gusto that you almost feel like you're overdoing it. Like, lean into it, get hyper fixated for a freaking week and see where it takes you. Because some of those rabbit holes are, like, really fun. And then at some point you find something you're passionate about that you didn't realize because you're gathering all this information during your hyperfixation. So lean into it.
Cheers to that. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. That was awesome.
I love you, bro.
Love you too. All right, let's Boom, just finishing up the podcast.
Boom.
Yep. Hey. Are we locked in here? Oh, let's get out. Let's see where we're at. Oh, we are back in the parking lot at Steel.
It's only fitting.
Because it's one of our favorite places.
It's also where we met.
Yeah, it's also where we met.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's fitting.
Yeah.
Where we met, where we're solidifying our, friendship right before you jump into the next chapter of your life.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Episode 6.
Episode 6.
Look at that dance. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you in the next one.